There's a $4 trillion market that's been running on spreadsheets and duct tape for as long as the tail of time. Because VCs and software companies have always thought that it's been too small and too fragmented and too manual. But they were wrong. AI just changed the economics of absolutely everything. If you run a service business, chances are you are sitting on a software opportunity that is phenomenally wide open. Now let's get right into it. Tell me if this sounds like your business. You're running a solid operation. Could be anywhere from 500 to 1 million to 2 million, maybe 3 million a year operation. But your systems are a joke. You've got a generic CRM that your team absolutely hates. And then you've got a scheduling tool that doesn't even talk to it. Then you've got a separate invoicing system. And you're still using spreadsheets for the 3 or 4 things that actually make your business money. And just like the new Netflix movie, you've built a Frankenstein's monster of software, and you are the only one who knows how to keep it running and keep it in check. Every software you try is kind of like almost right, which means it's absolutely fucking useless. And you asked the dev shop for a custom build and they quoted you maybe $300,000. So you gave up and you're trapped. You can't grow because your systems are a bottleneck. Now, this isn't just annoying or fucking frustrating. It's seriously costing you because your team is now wasting like 30% of their day on admin that could be automated. And not only automated, but reduce the risk of human error. Now, you can't scale without hiring more people to do more manual work, and that's not scaling, that's just getting bigger, let's be honest. Your best people are burning out on data entry, not on doing the job you hired them for, which kind of sucks, right? And you can't take a vacation because you're the human glue holding the whole operation and broken system together. Now, you're losing, maybe not to a direct competitor, but you are losing margin and you're losing time and you're losing your sanity. So why is this changing? Okay, here's the old man, why you were probably ignored. Let's use a real example. Okay, let's say there's 19,000 eye care clinics in the US. A VC wants to build a generic CRM. It costs them $1 million to build. They can only charge $100 a month because it's a generic tool. Best case, they capture 10% of the market. That's a 2.3 million a year business. The VCs call that a hobby, not an investment, and they pass. This is why your industry, such as landscaping, HVAC, recruiting, whatever, has garbage software that just doesn't work. Now here's the new math with AI. We don't build a dumb CRM. We build an AI system that is vertically integrated into your business, that replaces labor. It automates patient admin, bookings, follow-ups, and billing. The old software said, hey, I'll organize your data, and the value is maybe $100 a month. The new AI says, I'll replace 1.5 admin staff. Now, what's that worth? That's 60 hours a week, at $20 an hour. That's over $60,000 a year in savings. Will that clinic owner pay $1,500 a month to save $62,000 a year? Probably all day. Now let's look at that hobby market again. It's not a 2.3 million market anymore. It's a 34 million market that gets funded, that gets built. And this isn't theory, it's happening right now. Barty is doing it for eye care, Vetno for vets, Nautilus for car washes. The pattern is simple. A manual fragmented industry plus AI equals a massive opportunity, not just for the technologists, but for the service business owners who have the generational context of how these business operates. Because you now have the context to build these software solutions that not only improve your business, but improve your sister and partnership businesses across the board. You can now, instead of competing with your competitors, you can actually improve everyone's businesses all at once with this new software, and you can reap the rewards of getting that SaaS fee, of course. So now we get into the build versus buy, right? This is the part where you're asking, do I build or do I need to just buy one of these new tools? Those are fair questions. And here is the framework, okay? You want to buy an off-the-shelf tool when the problem is 80% solved by what's on the market. The workflow you're automating is a commodity, okay? So think like basic accounting or HR. Now your secret sauce has nothing to do with the process because a roofer's secret sauce is the quality of the install, not how they send an invoice. If a tool automates the invoice, buy it. But if you build when your secret sauce is the process, when that manual 50-step spreadsheet that you built is the exact reason you beat your competition, when you have a unique way of sourcing leads, managing projects, or just delivering service that no generic software understands or can come close to, or when nothing exists for your niche and you're just fucking tired of waiting. If you're in that build category, you're not just automating a task, you're productizing your expertise. You're turning that system in your head into an asset that can actually generate wealth for your business and transform phenomenally. Now, let's talk about how to build without blowing up your actual business, because this is a big one, the fear, okay? If you're a service business owner and you're not a tech CEO, the last thing you want is to sink 300K into a software project that just never finishes. Everybody can appreciate that's a pretty big financial investment, and I've seen it happen. Here's how you can de-risk that. First, You're not going to try and boil the ocean, okay? You don't need to build an all-in-one system because that's a recipe for disaster. You just want to pick one workflow, the most painful, most manual, and most valuable workflow you have. You already know it as I'm saying it. And maybe it's your coding process, maybe it's candidate sourcing, maybe it's project handoffs. You just want to build an aspirin for that one migraine. And second, you want to start with a Wizard of Oz prototype. You don't hire a dev team, not yet. You want to map out the perfect workflow on a flowchart. Then you build the interface, the buttons, the screens using simple tools. And on the back end, it's you. It's your team still doing it manually, but the user is following this new perfect process. And this lets you test processes before you spend a dime on code. And third, now you can build an MVP. This is not a masterpiece, but once the process is proven, you have it written down and you understand the flows and the edge cases and all this, you can build a minimum viable product to automate it. It's not about being pretty here. It's not about having 50 features. It's about, does this one tool save my team 20 hours a week? Yes, great. It's just paid for itself. Now you move on to the next workflow. Now, this isn't a 300K bet. It's a series of 30K projects with a direct measurable ROI. If you're reducing costs and saving time, that's ROI. You build it brick by brick, and with each brick paying for the next one. Now, for the real transformation, let's talk about the asset. Because when you do this, this change isn't just about efficiency. You haven't just reduced your workflows. I have a client in resourcing who did this. She automated her sourcing and screening. She went from 30 placements a year to 180 with the same team. Her competitors are now asking to buy her software. She's no longer just a service business owner, she owns the platform. And here's the part that nobody talks about, valuation. A $2 million a year service business, you're lucky to sell that for 2 to 3 times your profit. But a $2 million a year business that owns its own AI-powered operational software that can be productized, that is a tech-enabled company, that is an asset, and that is IP. That's not a 2x multiple, that's a 5x, 8x, maybe 10x multiple on the value of your business. And you're not just making your business better, now you're changing its entire financial data. You're building an asset that scales without you. And this is the window right now for a lot of service businesses, because in 12 to 18 months, these platforms will be built for almost every major niche. The question is, will you be the one building it or the one buying it? Do you want to capitalize or do you just want to consume? If you're running a service business and you're tired of fighting your own systems, let's talk. We can iterate on an MVP, get it out the door, and get it in the hands of users real quick. Book in a strategy session with me. The link is in the description. This isn't a sales call, it's a build session. We will actually sit down and in 90 minutes, we are going to map out the 3 to 5 core workflows in your business that are bottlenecks. And then 2, whether you should be on the build or buy path for each. You got nothing to lose. Just get in a conversation with me and let's flesh this out and see if it makes sense. And at the end of that, you'll know what a smart, de-risked MVP looks like for your biggest bottleneck. And you have good insight into the real work cost and timeline to build it, and the direct ROI in terms of how many staff hours it could save and when it pays for itself. Now, you've already done the hard part. You've built a profitable business. You've got that expertise. You've got that IP in your brain. Now let's turn that expertise into an asset that scales and builds phenomenal wealth for your company, but also value for people in your industry.